Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Made it. Oh, good morning and happy Wednesday to all of you guys. I'm glad we got some rain, but the humidity is not going to be our friends today. Hey, we got a great show for all of you. We're going to be talking in just a couple of minutes to Christina Boyer with Centerstone, and we're going to learn about their assertive community treatment today, a part of our Recover With the segments that we really enjoy here at RiverBender.com, and so many of you either watch the video live or on demand, or you read those articles, always in one of our trending sections. And it's great to know that so many of you have interest in learning about some of the options that are available for ourselves or our loved ones that are going down that path. We have that conversation in just about 15, 20 minutes. Then around 10:10, Lacy McDonald joins us in the studio. I believe 10:10. Uh-oh, this is where things get crazy. Lacy just wrote about smallpox in her latest Riverbender blog. She is coming at 10:10. And she's going to fill us in on how she developed the article and just talk a little bit more about what life was like living with smallpox back in the day. And, you know, I was watching just some of the older shows that I watch based on, you know, the colonial America and kind of just the older early development of America. And I'm watching it, and all these people are leaving town for yellow fever and, you know, pox and smallpox. And it's really how life adapted around it. So we're going to talk to Lacy about that a little bit down the pipeline today around 10:10. Then around 10:35, we're going to be talking. Oh my goodness, come on today. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. We have had the worst internet today. It has just been a nightmare here. I don't know about you guys, but it has just been rough here today. And then at 10:35, more conversations come down the pipeline with Dack and Piston Aviation. They have a really cool event coming up on Sunday where you can have the opportunity to take a discovery flight and see what it's like in that plane over there at Piston Aviation in Bethalto. That's really cool. I'm excited about that, the whole 2 hours, and you guys joining me, and I'm excited too. We've been working on some stuff. Well, I have, and because everyone upstairs is, you know, really working hard. I mean, we have so much work to do right now. It's actually kind of alarming. But I was wanting to work on more ways to really make this an interactive hub for all of you in the morning. And so my sister, who just graduated and is doing some really cool stuff in marketing already, when she had an awesome internship with BJC and done some really cool stuff, and then going over to, hopefully it sounds like, you know, Florida or some other place. She's doing awesome. But she helped me kind of develop a routine, or maybe ways that we can make this more interactive for you, because all of you watch on demand. Hell, I ain't worried about who watches the show, but I'd love to hear from you more, because this really is your show. I'm just going to be the one reading off your comments and texts, you know, and that way I stay out of trouble, because a lot of you say what I'm feeling currently. You know, you see how that works? That way there's a liability issue that kind of goes away. There you go. Hey, 9:05, here's what's happening around the Riverbend. That was a long way to get to it, son, but we got there. Oh, man. Let's take a look at top of the hour news. Make sure you sign up for, oh, no, your daily email update, and you'll never miss out. You can join myself, and you can join over 70,000 people that are in the know each and every day of the work week and on Saturdays with Around the Riverbend. Before we do that, make sure you do sign up for those SMS notifications. I'm going to start doing more with that text line. I think it'd be great to have the opportunity to, you know, utilize that more with so many of you guys getting away from the email. I get it. I have like 8,000 emails I've never opened, and, you know, we'll get there when we get there. Hey, let's take you right to Alton first, in very serious news. Dalton Brown brings us this story. After allegedly sexually abusing a child for more than 2 years, an Alton resident is now facing multiple felony charges. Here's what we know. DeQuavion D. Scott, 24 of Alton, charged with 2 counts of predatory criminal sexual assault of a child, both Class X felonies, and 2 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse, both Class 2 felonies, which were reportedly committed from June the 1st to November the 30th, 2021. A petition filed to deny Scott's pretrial release states that the Alton Police Department received a report of a sexual assault on June the 6th. The victim is described in court documents as a now 12-year-old female who reported a series of sexual assaults from the time she was approximately 7 years old until she was approximately 10 years old. On June 17th, 2024, Scott admitted to sexually assaulting the victim during an interview with law enforcement. Wow. The Alton Police Department presented this case against Scott, who was remanded to custody of the Madison County Jail. On the 20th of June, Scott's legal counsel filed the right to waive his detention hearing, and Scott currently remains in custody. Wow. We'll keep you updated as more details emerge. Also in the news today out of Bethalto, the Bethalto Police Department has identified and charged a suspect in a recent burglary case. Joshua Aguirre, 37, of the 600th block of Mill Street in Bethalto, has been charged with burglary to a motor vehicle. Following a police investigation, Aguirre was booked and subsequently released on pretrial conditions. Police Chief for Bethalto, Jason Lamb, told RiverBender.com. The incident allegedly occurred in the Cutter Aljet subdivision near Irwin Plague Boulevard in Bethalto, where a subject was observed entering a vehicle and taking items. The Bethalto Police Department initially released a photograph of the suspect on Facebook in hopes of gathering more information from the community and received responses that assisted in the investigation. We'll keep you updated as more details do emerge. Also, in the news today, we don't know if you saw this, but a beautiful home is now for sale in the Fairmont subdivision in Godfrey, located at 3 West Fairmont Drive. The 6-bedroom, 5-bathroom home, which overlooks the Mississippi River, boasts top-of-the-line kitchen appliances, a warming drawer, steamer, and wine cooler. The living room features a gorgeous gas fireplace, stunning rooms. The main 4, family room and office, are perfect for book lovers with floor to ceiling, but book and shelves as well. And you can find out more by emailing Allie@TarrentonHarmon.com. But we had so many of you click on that video that we had to decide to add that into top of the hour news today. And you can also call 618-974-9598. During the regular meeting, the Edwardsville Community Unit School District Number 7 reviewed updates to their discipline policies focusing on the behavior matrix and responsibility-centered discipline. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Alan Duncan and Director of Special Education and School Support Andrea Grotfend presented the revisions aimed at increasing consistency across schools and ensuring compliance with Senate Bill 100. The behavior metrics provides a structured guide for addressing misconduct, while RCD emphasizes proactive discipline to change student behavior. By setting clear expectations, the policies also outline steps for escalating responses to infractions and involve teachers, students, and guardians in the disciplinary process. At 9:10, the Illinois State Police recently conducted a 3-day violent crime suppression detail from June 20th through the 22nd, and now here's what we know. It focused on East St. Louis and neighboring Metro East communities, utilizing intelligence and technology. ISP targeted high-crime areas, violent offenders, and organized criminal groups. The operation led to 15 arrests, 19 felony charges, 33 criminal charges, 22 firearm-related charges, and the seizure of 12 firearms and 28 grams of controlled substances. Notable incidents include the apprehension of suspects from a stolen vehicle and the recovery of stolen firearms. Over 25 officers from various ISP units collaborated to ensure the operation's success, and ISP remains committed to using all resources to combat violent crime. Finally in the news today, Dutch Bros is set to join the Orchard Town Center, as announced by Village of Glen Carbon Mayor Bob Marcus on Tuesday. Mayor Marcus expressed excitement, noting that Dutch Bros will be a valuable asset both to the shopping center and to the village as a whole. He praised the Steinberg development for attracting new-to-market tenants and highlighted Dutch Bros' strong following. This marks Dutch Bros' first location in Illinois, and Mayor Marcus also mentioned ongoing development successes at Orchard Town Center, Chick-fil-A, and upcoming projects like Dick's Sporting Goods and Meyer Jewelry. Dutch Bros representative Allison Speidel confirmed the new location is in its early stages. We'll keep you updated as groundbreakings and more details do emerge for that exciting development in Glen Carbon. Always great to see. Let's take a look at your weather. Man, it is a lot different than it was yesterday, and man, it almost feels like a cold spell. Hey, currently right now it's 73 degrees. It feels like 74. Humidity is at 90%. It's going to be a muggy one out there today. Should not have wore pants, but, you know, I'll change before I go to the ball field. Considerable clouds and cooler, but humid with rain and a thunderstorm mainly early in the day. Tonight, clear. Air quality right now is set at 38, which is good. Grass is at moderate levels, mold low, ragweed low, tree levels low, and UV index, I would just going to take a guess and say low. Right now, there's a 100% chance of rain for the next couple of minutes here. They're predicting upwards until 11 o'clock, but it should dry out before the afternoon. However, be mindful because they are predicting more rain in the next couple of days. Temperatures will reach 84 degrees today, and they'll drop down to 65 overnight. The Supreme Court just ruled on another decision. I was making sure it wasn't the immunity one to relay that to you. I get up-to-date notifications. Temperatures reach 84 degrees today, drop down to 65 degrees overnight. On Thursday, a high of 87, a low of 69 degrees. I'm excited for 60s this evening. On Friday, a high of 89, a low of 75. And on Saturday, we're looking at 93 degrees, a low of 69. And an 80% chance of rain. But listen to this Sunday, a high of only 82 degrees and a low of 59 awaits us. There is relief in sight. That 82, it's going to feel like 40 by the time it gets here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, for time and temperature throughout the day, you give this phone number a ring, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Tom Lane, your local State Farm agent. Hey, while I have you too, go to RiverBender.com/weather to see that really cool interactive radar we have. I use it all the time, and I hate to tell you this, it's better than Channel 5's. It really is. And what I think's really great about our weather page is that we alert you. If there's a tornado, you're going to know about a minute or two quicker than you would with any other app, which is pretty important whenever you're in that type of crisis. So please stay tuned to RiverBender.com/weather. And while I have you, before we take a look at Skycam, let me fill you in on the amphitheater. It ain't done down there at the riverfront. They got a whole summer of fun getting ready to hit you right in the nose, and it starts in just a beep, boop, beep, boop. A couple of weeks, July 3rd, the fireworks on the Mississippi. That's the big staple event that you, your family, for generations has come down and seen the best fireworks display in the region. That takes place July 3rd. But the big one, and yes, I'm screaming into this microphone, get your tickets to Scotty McCreery. They are not going to last too much longer. We're talking a huge name in country music coming on into Alton, and if you think that Southern Illinois is going to let these tickets slip on by, you're fooling yourselves. They aren't going to go they aren't going to be around for too much longer. They're already selling like hotcakes. People want to see them because damn straight, we got Scotty McCreery coming into the Alton Amphitheater. Plus, that new song, Cabin of Solo, is on every station right now and just dominating the airwaves. What better time to be in Alton? You had some great music last week. Now you have a summer of events with the fireworks, the Alton Food Truck Festival after Scotty McCreery, Jazz and Wine Festival, the Alton Expo. There's so much more happening on the riverfront, and it starts July 3rd. But the big call to action for you is gather your friends, gather your family, come hang out with me at Scotty McCreery as he is live in concert at the Riverfront Amphitheater. The show starts at 8 p.m., but the gates open at 7 p.m. for you to go on in to the amphitheater. It's all you got to do is real simple. Click on the RiverBender.com wallpaper today. It'll take you to the calendar. Then you just click on the MetroTix link. You get your Scotty McCreery tickets, and you are good to go. Doors open at 6 p.m. The opening act starts at 7, and Scotty McCreery takes the stage at 8 p.m. Plus, Tickets are just $39, up to $79 for that VIP, or $59 for general reserve. That's really affordable, and really no other price point you're going to find and be able to go kind of watch this type of talent coming into a town and playing right here on the riverfront. Get your tickets at metrotix.com, and I'll see you there August the 9th for Scotty McCreery as, he is live in concert. Let's take a look at downtown Alton, and we'll come back with Centerstone right after this on Riverbender.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down, tumbling down. I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down, tumbling down. I just lose control down to my very soul.
Oh, welcome back. 921, little bit of change, and always love talking to Centerstone. It gains so many valuable insights, and Christina Boyer joins us now from Centerstone as she joins us here picture in picture. If I pull up the right screen and not what I need to talk about today. Christina, how are we doing?
Doing good, CJ. How are you?
Oh, we're hanging in there, and I'm so excited to talk about assertive community treatment. Yesterday, I was sent a little bit of the material over it, and just reading some of this, I can see the impact that this program makes. And right off the bat, Christina, take me through your day-to-day with ACT and Centerstone overall.
Yeah, so my day-to-day, I am the project director over the ACT grant, and ACT stands for Assertive Community Treatment. So my role is to oversee program development and grant implementation. So I pretty much make sure that we are meeting all of the requirements for the grant, and I help get the program up and running, and really work closely with the ACT team itself and making sure things are going smoothly and where we're supposed to be for the grant.
Well, and now take me through that. I find that fascinating to get everything together for the ACT program. Take me through the ins and outs and what goes into getting the funding and getting everything put together to be able to utilize this program.
Yeah, so things are actually going really great. I wasn't involved in like applying for the grant. I came on as project director after we were awarded the grant through SAMHSA. But it is a 5-year grant, and we didn't have to technically start from scratch in building this program, because what we did was transition one of the teams we already had, our intensive case management team, into the ACT team. So we started off with a coordinator for the program already, and then we have a wellness coach and our co-occurring substance use specialist. Aside from that, we've been working on hiring this past year. So as of I think the beginning of July, all of our positions for the team will be filled.
Wow.
Yeah, we had our first fidelity review back in March, so we're already functioning at low fidelity for ACT, which is really awesome.
Well, and take me through, what is the most difficult part when it comes to making sure that, you know, all the requirements are there, you're getting employees in place, and just kind of staying at those standards? Is there a difficulty that comes into your role?
I would have to say the most difficult part of my role so far has been filling vacancies. We had to onboard quite a few individuals for the different roles, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but since the pandemic, it's been a little hard to recruit employees.
Here,
nowadays.
here. We second that motion, Senator.
But yeah, we finally did it, and we're looking forward to moving forward with services.
Yeah.
You know, filling all those positions really gives us the opportunity to start taking on and serving more clients and people who need the services.
Well, and honestly, and I'm not saying this because you guys are a part of the show with segments and you're here now and patronizing you, but you guys have really tackled the COVID crisis, and not just the pandemic, but what it caused, and finding hires and finding employees and navigating that. You guys really rose to the occasion, and I think that's why you're seeing the success you did, because during the pandemic, it seemed like Centerstone really hunkered down and focused on ways to grow during that, and it really seems like it's helping, Christina.
Yeah, they did, and it is a really great agency to work for, and it, you know, when you have happy employees, it also helps, you know, better serve people in the community. So,
well, and on top of this too, the ACT program is, to me, is very valuable because this is tackling some very serious mental illness. If you could, Christina, could you give me an overview of what the ACT program covers and who this serves? Because just from my reading, this is something that is very important for our region to have?
Yeah, so ACT serves adults who are 18 years and older who have a primary mental health diagnosis of schizophrenia or other diagnosis with psychotic features or bipolar disorder. They also have we look for significant functional impairments like inability to care for themselves or take care of daily living tasks on their own without significant help. And then we also look for individuals who have frequent psychiatric hospitalizations or a lot of involvement with the criminal justice system, unstable housing, so homeless individuals or people who are at risk of losing their housing as well. The ACT team is a multidisciplinary team, so assertive community treatment is an evidence-based practice, and it involves a group of team members that include a psychiatrist, a nurse, a co-occurring substance use specialist, a counselor or therapist, a peer specialist or wellness coach, and then a couple different case managers that help work with like supported employment, housing, daily living skills, managing finances, and things like that. So as a whole team, the ACT team provides a lot of different services. We meet people where they're at in the community. Now that we have our nurse getting ready to onboard, she can go to their home and provide medication management. She could administer meds where the client's at without them having to come into the office. And it makes it better for them to receive services where they're comfortable and not such a hassle to have to get out and come to the office. So,
well, one thing that really stuck to me, Christina, not to cut you off, was just this line right here. It's taking care of their basic needs, taking medications, getting up and just getting through the day. And, you know, for folks that aren't going through that and haven't, don't understand it, to me, that's just an eye opener where, individuals are just struggling to hit those basic functions. And it seems like with this ACT program, you guys have a really comprehensive approach to make sure that you are really with that individual throughout throughout the day for any of their needs. Is that correct on this?
yes, we do. And one of the great things about ACT is the small caseload. So we can only have up to 10 clients per staff on the team that could carry a caseload. And what that allows, we can see these individuals several times a day, several times a week. At minimum, we mostly see them at least 3 times a week. So, if they have a health issue like diabetes or something like that and really need to learn how to check their blood sugar and take insulin, we could go there at each meal and help them navigate that and different things to just live independently.
And, and Christina, I don't know, I'm not an expert in this field, obviously, but, my thought is too, is there a better gauge too for the staff of Centerstone, the clinicians, the care team to go in? Can they evaluate that person each time and see, hey, there's something changing here a little bit with mentality wise, or maybe there's some type of, I don't want to say episode, but some type of event getting ready to happen? Can they monitor those levels too throughout the day and kind of help gauge that, or is that something that's unpredictable?
Yeah, definitely. So we meet daily as a team and we discuss every person that we serve. So if anything's changed, most people are seen, like I said, a few times a week. So we always have updates and are talking about their care and what happened at the last service and what needs to happen at the next service. So it really gives us an opportunity to collaborate all together and better serve the individuals.
Well, and honestly, too, Christina, it seems like this is a great thing for the support system of the individual, too, that's, going through this, because I could only imagine if, your loved one or your son, your daughter, whoever it is, your best friend or your neighbor is going through this and you're trying to help them. I'm sure it can get difficult for that support system to remember medications and check in, or even how do you have those conversations of, hey, did you take this, or is this going well for you today? And to have a team that's really knowledgeable on this, I'm sure that helps bridge that gap and make it a little bit easier on that support system too.
Yeah, part of the ACT model fidelity is really engaging those natural supports and help them understand what their loved one's going through and how to help them, together with the team. And that's something we hope to build more on in the upcoming years as we're working through this grant, is really engaging those natural supports and getting the client support outside of the agency and with people that can help them, because a lot of individuals that we serve, they just don't have those relationship or supports too often.
Well, and honestly, you hit on something that I never even would have thought of, and that's just taking medications, and or for something that's not really a mental health related event, but even diabetes or any type of chronic illness. I couldn't even imagine, remembering medication if you're going through an episode or going through some type of battle, through your mental illness. And whenever you guys go in and start working with that individual, is that pretty common where maybe they haven't been taking the medications they really need to take for, their diabetes or for any of their other medical conditions? Is that common?
Yeah, unfortunately, I would say medication is a big barrier for a lot of people. Some people don't understand why they need to take it. Some people don't like the side effects. So really, educating them on the benefits and how it's going to improve their health. We obviously can't, force anybody to take medication, but if they're willing, we can help them understand, how to take it and when they need to take it and things like that.
And how do the conversations go with the individual and the team? Because I could only assume that just even talking to somebody throughout the day and having somebody to lean on a little bit goes a lot further than we would think about just as a blanket statement. What are your thoughts on that?
It definitely takes time.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the people that we're working with right now have, most of them have been in the program. They're ones that transitioned from intensive case management when we received this grant. But we are getting new referrals, and the team lead kind of coordinates all of that process, and she makes sure to meet with the person themselves, and so they understand what's expected out of the program. And I mean, we really do dig into their lives. We're involved in all aspects that they need help with or they'll allow us to be. So it really takes some building trust between the team members and the people that we serve. So.
Absolutely. And, Christina, as we keep going through the entire ACT program, what I think is important too to hit on is how do you guys plan to kind of evolve it? Because right now it seems like, you're hitting every stride you can, but after this run of the grants over with, is there some goals that you have as a team to kind of maybe update it, maybe find a new program to transition to? What are your thoughts on that?
So the goal is to be a sustainable ACT program after the grant ends.
Cool.
I personally don't see any barriers with that. We're pretty on track as far as getting up to fidelity. We have a lot of training upcoming in the future years, and just really kind of spreading the word and outreaching community stakeholders and developing relationships with the agencies in the area, like police stations, probation offices, hospitals, things like that. The goal is to continue building the program. So each year we have a set number of people that we're trying to serve each year, and it goes up each year to try to, and then obviously as we get more clients, we would increase our staff and kind of build up the program that way too.
And honestly, I'm glad to hear that because it seems like this is a type of program that could truly help so many people that are at risk or at need. And Christina, take me through the criteria. Who would qualify for the ACT program, and how does that individual start the process of seeing if they're a fit or if this program's right for them? Could you fill me in?
Yeah, so they would qualify if they're 18 years or older and have one of those two diagnoses that I mentioned earlier, schizophrenia, or another diagnosis with psychotic features, and then either or bipolar disorder. And then we also work with individuals who have co-occurring disorders, so some of them may have substance use disorder as well. Other than that, the criteria must meet like those significant functional impairments with like the daily living skills and need support in that area. And then we usually look for them to have that frequent hospitalization or frequent involvement with the criminal justice system, repeated evictions, and that kind of nature. We have a main line for Centerstone. I believe you have that already. They
One
can
eight
always,
seven seven Hope 123.
yep. They can call that number and get into enrollment and get assessed to see if they meet criteria for the program, and it's just that easy. The process, once they get enrolled and assessed, our team lead would reach out to the referral source and just gather whatever information she need if anything was missing. And then she would reach out to the person themselves and kind of talk to them about the program and get things rolling that way, and meet with the team members and things like that. We also have a referral form for external referrals. So I've sent it out to like hospitals and probation. If they come across anyone who they think would benefit from the program, they can fill out that form. And we have an email address, cilactwest@centerstone.org, and they just send it over and we look it over, and the team lead would reach out to them and get the process moving that way.
I know that I'm keeping you a little bit longer than I always tell everyone 15 minutes with Centerstone, and here we are still talking. But Christina, this is so important and for such important information to have. And my thought is you never need to know it until you need to know it. So why don't you know it ahead of time, at least to get an idea? And I'm looking through just some of the services that you all provide through the ACT program, and this is amazing. Vocational and educational assistance, healthcare education and linkage, money management, and entitlement assistance. And what I think is unique about this program is the individualization of it and how it really is tailored to that person. So is that kind of meaning that, one individual might need all of those services I just described and the other one might only need one or two? Is that kind of how that works?
Yeah, definitely. Every person is different in what areas they need help or want help with.
Yeah.
So yeah, we work on resume building, applying for jobs, anything from teaching them, how to clean their house, how to cook, eating proper nutrition. We advocate at doctor's appointments, so we attend a lot of both psychiatry and physical health appointments with them, so they can understand and communicate with doctors better.
That's huge.
But yeah, we manage some of their Social Security if they need help, like managing their finances to keep housing, pay their bills, things like that. So a wide variety of services.
And that's why I was just reading last night and then I read again this morning before we started our segment, and I was just blown away because this is something that could truly, so many people just need that guiding hand, it seems like, because it's not, because it's, impossible, but just because it's always good to stay in that lane, keep focused and keep moving forward, and to know that you guys are that constant guiding force for that individual is amazing in all these programs. And wanted to ask you just to touch on the substance use disorder side of things briefly. And I'm not, like I said, not an expert on this. Don't mean to put you on the spot, but are some of the psychological disorders, the schizophrenia, are some of those induced because of the use of narcotics, or is that just a side effect of the drug? Just curious from just a thinking out loud standpoint.
Honestly, I'm not a clinical expert or anything like that. And I think it really just depends on the person. I think it could be, the psychotic features definitely come from the mental illness sometimes, and then like you said, sometimes it is the drug causing those features as well. And I think it's really hard to tell until you're working with the person for so long and kind of getting a gauge of where they're at and their symptoms and things.
Absolutely. And thank you. I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that. But Christina, I also wanted to ask you about the graduation, quote unquote, process of this program, because it seems like there isn't a set time limit on this. It's going to be at their pace. Is that correct, or is there more to this?
No, so they can be in the program as long as they need it. So this program, it's basically the most intense services people can receive outside of like a hospital or group home setting. And I think it really depends on the person's goal. Like if they want to live independently without any support and that's their goal, there are ways to get there and help them. We have another program at Centerstone, our health home program, which is similar, just a little less intensive than ACT. And we do ongoing assessments with the clients, like you said, the person-centered planning, comprehensive care. We're constantly talking to them about, what their goals are. So if that's something they're wanting to do, and the team member and the person we're serving feels like, hey, I'm doing okay, I don't need to see you several times a week, but I don't want to be without services at all, we can kind of step them down and make sure that they're doing well in that less intense program. And then, eventually they'd work with them until they can be independent. But maybe they can't do that. So we would just serve them for as long as we can, as long as they're willing to let us. So
That's incredible. And now, as we talk about the onboarding process as we're wrapping up, what does that look like? And how many right now, if somebody's going, this actually sounds like something I need to utilize or look into, is there any openings, or how does that kind of look ballpark wise for being accepted into the ACT program?
yeah, we have openings. We are currently accepting referrals. It kind of just depends. Our goal for the grant for year one is to serve 30 people. I don't know if this is accurate, but we were around 17 or 18. So we still have quite a bit of room, but like I said, that is mainly due to the staff shortage and filling those positions. We want to make sure we have enough people to work with the people that we're trying to serve. So, but we are taking on referrals. So.
Really cool. And Christina, going forward, is there anything that I haven't hit on with the ACT program that we need to dive into? I just want to make sure, because I wanted to cover all of this because of just how comprehensive of an approach it is, and really paints the picture of Centerstone being there when we need you guys the most. Is there anything I'm missing?
I don't think so. I think one of the big things with ACT, like we touched on the natural supports, but another important piece is really that connection with other agencies like police departments and probation officers and probation offices, things like that, because landlords, just making sure that we have those relationships, because the people that we serve often run into barriers, and they may not trust the police officers and things like that, and we can really provide that connection and help them in those areas. So I think that's an important part. We're serving people sometimes who are at the lowest point in their life, and we're asking them to be open and trust us, and they, I think it helps to have that connection with those people. And
let me follow up on that real quick, because that is an important conversation to have about those connections. When would you utilize those conversations with, the probation or police departments, and how does that come into play throughout the individual's care? Is it just kind of staying up to date with a probation officer and saying, here's what we're working on? Is it, reaching out to PD and saying, we are going through these programs and we're working on things? If you could, just take me through really the importance and the impact of those relationships.
I think it's another thing that really just depends on the individual we're working with, but and how they want us to be involved. But sometimes we do a lot of coordination with probation departments. If we have an individual who's on probation, making sure they're meeting the requirements, getting to court dates.
Yep.
And it kind of helps, sometimes if they see they're in treatment and they're trying and things like that, just having that communication with them kind of helps the client to like a smoother transition through the process. Police departments, like I said, some of the individuals we serve are homeless or they have like repeated incarceration. So if they know that, they're trying to get help or working through these things, we can kind of communicate with them. ACT has, it's assertive engagement. So sometimes we can't locate the individuals that we're working with, and we'll call around to hospitals or police departments to try to get a hold of them. We contact the natural support, so we don't just close them out because we can't get a hold of them. We really want to make sure they're safe and getting appropriate care. So we like those relationships for that reason as well.
That's just incredible, Christina, and it's been a pleasure speaking with you today, and I'm so glad that we had this conversation. And, the backstory to getting here was a little bit fun and just kind of laying it all out, but I appreciate your patience, and I really enjoy speaking with Centerstone, and I love what you guys do. Keep up the great work, and you at home, if you're looking for a fresh start on the road to recovery, a life free from addiction is possible, and it starts with Christina and the folks over there at Centerstone. Centerstone's a national leader in mental health and substance use disorder treatment for people of all ages, with a commitment to delivering care that truly changes people's lives. Centerstone's clinicians use evidence-based practices in those treatment programs, meaning the recovery care plan is developed for you based on the latest science. There's so many unknowns on the road to recovery. Christina, you know that, especially, at Centerstone, and we all know that. But one thing you can know for sure is that Centerstone will be that constant guiding force for you on your recovery journey. Addiction can happen to anybody, but the good thing is, so can recovery. So start working towards your recovery today with Centerstone at recoverwiththis.org, recoverwiththis.org, or by calling 1-877-HOPE-123. Christina, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, CJ.
No problem. At 9:48, a little bit of change. We'll take a quick break and wrap up the 9 o'clock hour right after this.
No matter the season, Played Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Played Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. .53, welcome back. Great conversation with Centerstone. I'm back in business today. I mean, I needed that. That was like one of my best interviews, I think, in a while. I'm proud of that one. Proud of this show. All right, here we go. 9:53. Here's, if you can't laugh at yourself. I mean, honestly, I'm proud of that one. That was really cool to hear about. And what I think's awesome is, too, is there's been so many times, and, you know, I've had phone calls of people that are, you know, they call all the time and ask for suggestions or ways and places to go. And to know that Centerstone really has a comprehensive map of services that really do encompass almost everything that you could be going through. I mean, there's a reason they're a national partner. Reach out to Centerstone if you're going through this or you think that there's something going on that you can't kind of figure out and you're nervous. Listen, I've been in that situation. Trust me, I've been in that situation. A lot of you know I've been in that situation. And that's why I do this segment. It's important to me because I know how lonely it feels. And even though I have had a loving family and still do, and they were wonderful, when I was going through my battle, it felt like I was on an island, even though I wasn't. And if you are going through that, go to Centerstone, give them a call, start the process. I'm serious. It's important. On this date in history at 9:54, on this date in 1948, the U.S. and British pilots began delivering food and supplies by airplane to Berlin after the city is isolated by the Soviet Union blockade. When World War II ended in 1945, defeated Germany was divided into Soviet America, British, and French zones of occupation. The city of Berlin, though located within the Soviet Union zone of occupation, was split into 4 sectors, with the Allies taking the western part of the city and the Soviets in the east. In June 1948, Joseph Stalin's government attempted to consolidate control of the city by cutting off all land and sea routes to West Berlin in order to pressure the Allies to evacuate. As a result, beginning on the 24th of June, the western section of Berlin and its 2 million people were deprived of food, heating fuel, and other critical supplies. Though some in President Truman's administration called for a direct military response to this aggressive Soviet move, Truman, he worried such a response would trigger another world war. Instead, he authorized a massive airlift operation under the control of General Lucius D. Clay, the American-appointed military governor of Germany. The first planes took off from England and western Germany on the 26th of June, loaded with food, clothing, water, medicine, and fuel. By the 15th of July, an average of 2,500 tons of supplies were being flown into the city every day. The massive scale of the airlift made it a huge logistical challenge and at times a great risk. With planes landing at airports every 4 minutes round the clock, pilots were asked to fly 2 or more round-trip flights every day. In World War II, planes that were sometimes in need of repair. The Soviets lifted the blockade in May of 1949, a year later, having earned the scorn of the international community and subjecting innocent men, women, and children to hardship and starvation. The airlift called Die Luftbrücke, or the air bridge in German, continued until September of 1949 for a total delivery of more than 1.5 million tons of supplies and a total cost of $224 million. When it ended, the eastern section of Berlin was absorbed into Soviet East Germany, while the West remained a separate territory with its own government and close ties to West Germany. The Berlin Wall, built in 1961, formed that dividing line between the East and the West. Its destruction in 1989 presaged to the before the 1991 collapse of the Soviet Union, marked the end of an era and the reemergence of Berlin as the capital of the new, now unified German nation. That happened on this date in history. Really fascinating. Also on this date in history, I'm nervous. Man, yesterday this thing was wonkier than heck. On this date in 1956, the U.S. Congress did approve the Highway Act, the Federal Highway Act to be exact, which allocated more than $30 billion with a B in 1956. That's a lot of money for the construction of some 41,000 miles of interstate highways. It would be the largest public construction project in the United States. On this date in 2003, Strom Thurmond, who served in the United States Senate for 46 years, died at this day in office. And that's about it. Oh, here we go. One for you in music. With a string of pop hits in the mid-'60s that began with that I Got You, Babe. Sonny and Cher's divorce, it became final on this date in 1975. On this date in music, American soul singer in 2020, Tammy Lynn. She scored a top 10 hit on the U.S. singles chart in 1971 with I'm Gonna Run Away From You. She sang all Dr. John's albums, as well as performing backing vocals on the Rolling Stones album Exile on Main Street, and worked with Wilson Pickett, Sonny and Cher, and Miles Davis. Tammy Lynn passed away on this date, 2020. Also, on this date in history, Total Guitar Magazine voted Celine Dion's rendition of You Shook Me All Night Long as the world's worst cover version ever. In the best versions list, Jimi Hendrix was voted into first place with his two versions of the Bob Dylan song All Along the Watchtower. The Beatles' rendition of Twist and Shout was in second place, followed by the Guns N' Roses versions of the Wings song Live and Let Die. But there you go. Celine Dion was voted the worst cover version of You Shook Me Off. That just doesn't sound like it would even make sense. You know, if it doesn't, it doesn't. That's how I'm starting to become. It's an A to B thing 9 times out of 10. And people can argue with me all they want about, well, no, because this could happen and this could happen. No. A to B. If it don't make sense to get to B, then A wasn't right to begin with, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, also, on this date in music history, in 1977, in Indianapolis at Market Square Arena, the King made what would be his last live appearance on stage. Presley would die 2 months later. The last 2 songs he performed were, well, Bridge Over Troubled Water, and that's not true, Unchained Melody, and then he sang Cannot Fall in Love With You. Before the show, Elvis was presented a plaque commemorating the 2 billionth record to come out of a RCA pressing plant, and there you go. The King of Rock and Roll, his last concert on this date in history, 1977. Also in the news today, the Beatles During a world tour, the Beatles played 2 shows at Town Hall, Dundee and South Island, New Zealand. Oh, it's already 10 o'clock. The flight from Auckland to Dundee was tense due to the receipt of an anonymous threat like a germ bomb had been placed on board the aircraft. So there you go on this date in music. It's 10:01. Let's take a quick break. It's also Ariana Grande's birthday. God, she is just, that would be, my celebrity crush would probably be Ariana Grande. Oh my goodness. There you go. Happy birthday. And, yeah, that'll do it. We'll come back with more Daily Show with top of the hour news. Oh, wait, it is. Actually, it's one of the worst individuals who ever lived's birthday. Colonel Tom Parker, the manager of Elvis Presley, was born on this date. Hopefully he's still burning. 10:01, we'll take a quick break and we'll come back with top of the hour news next.
No matter the season, Played Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Played Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our Daily Show. Here's CJ.
Get on over here, 10:06. Welcome back Wednesday morning, hitting you in the nose. You can listen to the music all you want, or you can listen to top of the hour news. Doesn't really bother me either way. I get paid. 10:06. Here's what's happening around the Riverbend. Make sure you sign up for that daily email update. You will never miss out. Join 70,000 people. 70,000. That's 70 with 3 more zeros stacked on top of that bad boy that get the daily email update, that are in the know and getting their daily dose of local right here on RiverBender.com. We'll take you to Bethalto first. At 10:06, the Bethalto police has identified and charged 37-year-old Joshua Aguirre in a recent vehicle burglary case. Aguirre, a resident of Mill Street in Bethalto, faces charges of burglary to a motor vehicle after a thorough police investigation. He was booked and released on pretrial conditions. The incident took place after police released that video RiverBender.com reported just last week of the individual on that surveillance camera, and it took place in the Cutter Aljet subdivision near Irwin Plague Boulevard, where Aguirre was seen entering a vehicle and stealing items. The police initially shared that photo on Facebook, which led to community responses that aided the investigation. The case currently under investigation, and Aguirre is presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Back here to Alton in very serious news. After allegedly sexually abusing a child for more than 2 years, DeQuavion D. Scott, 24 of Alton, is now facing multiple felony charges. Scott has been charged with 2 counts of predatory criminal sexual assault of a child and 2 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse, reportedly committed from June 1st, 2019 to November 30th, 2021. The Alton Police Department received a report of the sexual assault on June the 6th, 2024 from a now 12-year-old female victim. Scott admitted to the assaults during a June 17th interview with law enforcement. He remains in custody in Madison County Jail. Also in the news, yesterday afternoon, the Alton Police and Fire Departments responded to a call about a suspicious item at the Goodwill store on Homer Adams Parkway. Initially described as a pipe bomb, the item prompted a swift response to ensure public safety. The Illinois Secretary of State Police Bomb Squad was called in for assistance. After a thorough investigation, it was confirmed that the item was not a pipe bomb and there was no threat to the public. Authorities have not released any additional information at this time. Also in the news, Christina Castelli ended her school year on a high note by being named Alton High School prom queen, an outstanding athlete. She excels in both soccer and volleyball and will be a key player for the Redbird girls volleyball team this fall. Christina is also an exemplary student and was honored as an Otto Butler Female Athlete of the Month. She cherishes her prom queen win as one of the best high school experiences and enjoyed participating in the Alton Memorial Day Parade. Christina is considering a career in architecture and possibly attending SIUC. She expressed gratitude to her parents and their support throughout her childhood. Congratulations to Christina on being that Otto Butler Female Athlete of the Month for Alton. One final bit of news for you today. Abby Taylor, a recent graduate of Marquette Catholic, has been named the Alton Godfrey Rotary Student of the Year for the school year, honored for her academic excellence and community involvement. Abby is the daughter of Josh and Hannah Taylor. Marquette Catholic Principal Tim Harmon praised Abby for her leadership and dedication. She excelled in advanced placement and dual credit classes and led the community in-house program at Marquette. Abby plans to attend the University of Kansas, major in aerospace engineering. Principal Harmon also recognized fellow Marquette Rotary Students of the Month for their achievements. That's a look at what's happening around the Riverbend at 10:10. Let's take a look at your weather. 75 degrees down in the studio. I don't know, Lacey. It's feeling like 95. It feels actually outside like 74. Temperatures today, it's 75 and it feels like 81. Still feels like 90 down here, Lacey, though. Today, considerable cloudiness and cooler, but very humid with rain and a thunderstorm, mainly earlier in the day. Tonight, clear. Air quality right now is ranked as good. Grass levels are moderate. Mold is low. Ragweed tree levels low. UV index is low as well. Temperatures reach 84 degrees today, drop down to 64 overnight as we head into Thursday. On Thursday, a high of 86, a low of 67 degrees. And then on Friday, a 60% chance of rain, a high of 87, a low of 73. But on Saturday morning, bear with me here, a high of 95, a low of 69 with an 80% chance of rain in the forecast. And on Sunday, currently we're looking at a high of only 82 degrees and a low of 59. You can stay up to date in real time all the time at RiverBender.com /weather, or for time and temperature throughout the day, give this phone number a ring, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Bounce Back, Rehab, Recover, and Return Home. All right, you herb enthusiasts, if you're looking to take your cannabis experience to new heights, quite literally, high, you can go to Village Dispensary. That really is the place to be. I love Village Dispensary. So glad they're a part of the show and supporting our daily show in RiverBender.com. Their inventory is so good, guys. Even your plants are going to be jealous. From vapes and flowers to topicals, tinctures, edibles, and concentrates, or accessories too. They've got everything to keep you buzzing. The staff at Village Dispensary is friendlier than, well, a stoner. Yeah. How about that? And they'll have you in and out in no time. You visit villagedispo.com to see their amazing product line. It's huge. They have daily deals. They have daily specials. Plus, when you go in, special buys where you can get a pre-roll for $12 or maybe a pack of gummies for $8. How about that? Now you're feeling great on a Wednesday. You can visit villagedispo.com for more information. That's villagedispo.com, or just stop by Village Dispensary. And once you do, just don't forget to tell them that you know who, well, sent you over their way. That's Village Dispo. Villagedispo.com. Lacy McDonald next.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car. I have a job. There's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey, Sherry. Talk to me, Dream Team. We've got showing.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
You know you wanted to listen to ELO that long. It's all good. Hey, did you see this George Washington cherry story?
No.
You have not seen... Oh, my goodness. Hold on here.
Local history, CJ.
I know, but hold on. This is really cool. They found a bunch of cherries that are still preserved in George Washington's basement.
Oh, my gosh.
Isn't that wild?
That's really cool. Can you eat them?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good... I don't know. I've eaten worse. But they found like 30 jars that were perfectly preserved, and it was really interesting. However, you know what else is interesting? Smallpox.
Smallpox.
And you wrote about it. And we couldn't get the old man in here today, but
Okay,
that's okay.
that's all right.
But I know that you wrote a great story. And how much research went into this one?
Well, quite a bit, because I didn't want to get like something worldwide wrong. And also because smallpox is one of the most interesting topics that I think exists in my job, because and I think part of that is because it's been eradicated, we don't have like the same sort of personal I don't want to say connection, but like none of us know anyone that has died of smallpox. So there's not like an emotional component of it. It just feels magical that something that was around for 3,000 years has been eradicated.
Yeah.
And there are a whole bunch of factors why. One of the most interesting ones that I discovered, I didn't know about this, was that part of why they could eradicate it is that it doesn't have any animal reservoirs. So there are no animals that also have smallpox. It was a fully human virus. And so like the plague, you can't ever fully get rid of the plague because there might be a rat somewhere that has it, the Black Plague. Whereas when all humans were vaccinated or had gotten it and then were immune afterwards, we were done. And that was it.
That's so wild. Now, is there still smallpox in other parts of the world?
No, it is fully globally eradicated. And that was a huge deal because it was eradicated in the United States and in Europe and other parts of the world before the late 1970s. But the very last cases, and this was another thing I discovered, there's variola major, which is like the smallpox that 30% of the people that get it die. Natural immunity and other things have a factor in that, but it's got about a 30% death rate. And then there's variola minor, which is much less fatal. But the last person to have naturally acquired smallpox with the major was in 1975, and it was a 3-year-old in Bangladesh, and she survived. And she was isolated at home with guards posted, because, I mean, this was like the last person in the world. They didn't want it to spread. There was a house-to-house vaccination campaign within a 1.5-mile radius of her home, and they were able to contain it. And then 2 years later, in 1977, Ali Malin was the last person to have naturally acquired smallpox caused by variola minor. He was a cook in Somalia, and he recovered as well. But the coolest thing about him was that he went on to work on the polio eradication campaign. So he died of malaria working on that. But yeah, I mean, he was the last person to have smallpox and then went on to help the world with polio. So
man, and then to end it with malaria, though, is pretty brutal.
I mean, malaria is not a great way.
No,
but
how did we act around smallpox? Because because I'm kind of big into colonial America, I find it really fascinating. And like when yellow fever started to spread, people literally left town and went to other parts of the secluded themselves. What did we do here locally whenever there was, smallpox going around? Or maybe, was it like seasons, like flu season? Was there a smallpox season?
I don't know exactly what was a factor in that. I think it was more often that just somebody showed up with smallpox and it spread. And I think Madison County, because it was pretty highly populated and we had a lot of industry here, people were in close enough contact that it could really spread. And that was part of why, what I talked about in the article is 100 years ago, we had the most smallpox in the state.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we were a pretty sick community.
We were. There wasn't that 30% fatality rate. So I don't know if it was the major or the minor, or if it was just that enough people had acquired some natural immunity. I mean, that's when it's really an issue. Like when Europeans came over and were exposed to the American Indians, and then they were just decimated by smallpox. Part of that was there was no natural immunity. So I know there was some of that. But yeah, in 1924, there were 70 new cases in the week of June 17th, 70 new cases in the state. And we had 34 of those in Madison County. And there are 102 counties, so it's not like there were 36 in all 101 other counties and then 34 in ours. So it was a big deal. But not everybody treated it as a big deal. And so there was still a lot of, having to impose fines, having to threaten jail time if people didn't comply with quarantines and that was the biggest one, quarantine or getting the vaccine in advance.
Well, that makes sense with smallpox, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. And so with this, how did they combat it? Because I know that there was a pretty gruesome way of vaccinating yourself for smallpox or getting vaccinated that almost took a spore of somebody that had the disease and they put it into their body, correct?
Yeah, so I looked into what was on the John Adams.
Yeah, so was that close?
Yes, that was a piece of the history of it. So before they discovered a vaccine, which was in 1796.
Okay.
So in the 1770s, when like John Adams' family was doing this, the way that you inoculated against smallpox was to, from what I understand, like scrape the skin and then put in smallpox.
Yes. You were infecting yourself.
Yes. And I didn't realize this. Like, I was reading about Jane Addams and talking about the family and stuff. And it took like 4 times for some of the kids, like because they didn't get any of the symptoms, and so they knew it hadn't taken. So they had to go back, do it again.
No.
It was horrific.
No
Yeah,
way.
and it wasn't without a lot of fear, because there was no guarantee that you wouldn't die from it. You probably wouldn't die from it. It was much better than getting smallpox naturally.
Right.
But it was not a vaccine. It was an inoculation. And so, yeah, like John Adams was apparently out of town when this was happening, and he was like writing letters back and forth about how nervous he was. And Jane Addams, Abigail, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm saying
so
Jane,
it's fine,
Abigail.
but you're
Abigail
right.
Adams was talking about, how the kids were doing, and she used the word puke to talk about one of them, and I didn't know that like, I would have thought that was an anachronism.
Well, so how did it evolve?
So then, this is one of those, like, couldn't happen today, probably shouldn't have happened the way that it did, but in 1796, an English doctor named Edward Jenner noticed that local milkmaids would get cowpox and then not get smallpox.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he noticed, but it was also sort of rumor around the community. So he took some cowpox from a cowpox pustule from local milkmaid, and like gave it to an 8-year-old. The son of his gardener.
Not even his son. Yeah, the son of somebody else.
Your employee.
What a wonderful man.
Yeah. So yeah, not ideal. And then gets better. And then like 2 months later, exposed him to smallpox to make sure that it would work. And he didn't get smallpox, or this would be a very different story.
That's an ask for forgiveness later type of thing.
And I don't know if he got permission from the family before he did that. And even in that situation, like, how much can you say no when your employer is like, hey, I'm going to do this to your kid? Like, was your employment contingent upon saying yes? I don't know. But anyway, it worked. Cowpox is similar enough to smallpox that became, for a period of time until the mid-1800s, that became the vaccine. And then they further developed I don't want to say what we use today, because we no longer have to get the vaccine, but what was used until it was eradicated. So that was one version of it. They also had a version where they're like dry smallpox sores and crush them and like blow it into people's noses to
I've seen people do worse with their noses.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that would be fine for some people. But yeah, so it was this very like, you see the step by step, and then now there are 2 places in the world that still have smallpox, like active smallpox, and one is in Atlanta, and then the other one I think is in Russia. So it's the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta, Georgia, and the State Research Center of Virology and Biotechnology in Russia. And those are because following the eradication, scientists and public health officials determined that we still needed to be able to study this. Yeah. And if anything was ever used as like bioterrorism, we needed to know like what we were working with. So those are the only 2 now. The last person that died of smallpox, like actually died of smallpox, was actually a medical photographer in 1978, who worked above the like microbiology department where they were conducting smallpox research, and
probably wasn't the smartest idea.
Yeah, and it might have been like the air ducts or direct contact. Like, they're not entirely sure, but that was in 1978. So even with that, it's been a while. So
just going back to your article here, take me through your poster that you used. Was this something that was like on display somewhere?
Yeah. Okay. So one of the most fun things that I've been learning about while I've been doing these articles is the WPA posters that the government essentially funded in mostly the 1930s. And so they have all kinds of really cool, there are art ones, there are library ones, there are ones related to public health. And so the one I used in the article is one of the ones that was done through the Food and Drug Administration through the WPA. And it's available at the Library of Congress website. Like, you can go in, you can look at all of them. There are hundreds. You kind of get a sense of like what people were struggling with at that time. Like, there have been a lot of posters about syphilis. So many syphilis posters. And syphilis is apparently big pox. Smallpox is called smallpox to designate it from syphilis, which was the big pox. And then when I was looking for the smallpox, I found all these syphilis posters, and it was a big thing that we were dealing with in the 1930s in the United States.
That's incredible. Wow. Well, now I'm looking here. I mean, this is pretty incredible. You were talking about the fines. It says that, you were getting hit with a $200 penalty, which would be $3,500.
Yes. If you did not report in Madison County in 1924, if you did not report that you had smallpox, that was the kind of fine you were going to face.
Now, how did parents react with their children around Alton?
Yeah, varying degrees of caution and compliance, I guess. So at one point, Irving School had about half the kids attending because the others were at home either in quarantine or because they were recovering from the vaccination or because their parents didn't want to have them get the vaccine. One interesting thing about the vaccine is that in order to determine that it had worked, you had to have a scar. Like, they wanted to see your smallpox scar.
Oh, wow.
And so it was kind of an easy way to check if somebody, or you could have a certificate that said you had smallpox. So I guess as long as your doctor was willing to write that for you, you'd get it. But yeah, so it was, there's always controversy about things that you wouldn't expect there to be controversy about, looking at it from our time period.
Right.
And then at the same time, like, we can see the same sort of sentiments with stuff we've dealt with today.
Yeah, 100%. Now, when did the smallpox in the area kind of go away?
I think it ebbed and flowed. I don't think that anyone died during this one of smallpox that I saw. Like, some of the warnings said, people in Illinois have died of smallpox this year, which was a warning, but also doesn't have the same sort of gravity as if you're like 30% of Altonians who get this are dying.
Yeah.
So I think that was maybe part of why people were willing to comply, but they weren't like terrified of it. I mean, this is also coming right after World War I and right after
the flu,
the Spanish flu, exactly. And so that had been so devastating that I think that
numbness.
What?
Was it like numbness almost?
It might have been. And it's not like they weren't taking it, like the state was taking it seriously, the city was taking it seriously, but there's also, there's that that numbness. Like, you've been dealing with death and sickness and all kinds of stuff for quite a while at that point.
Right.
And so if no one's died, it's a little harder to,
Yeah, 100%. Now, Smallpox Island, does that have anything to do with this?
It has stuff to do with this in that it was smallpox related. So that was during the Civil War.
Oh, okay.
So during the Civil War, we had just packed Confederate soldiers into a prison that wasn't even supposed to be in use at all anymore. So it had been the state prison. They closed it down, reopened it, and put more people in for the Civil War. And because everyone was in such close quarters, something like smallpox just decimates. And then that was the sort of situation where at least 30% of the people probably were dying.
Yeah.
And so they put everybody on Smallpox Island to quarantine them. But you weren't really leaving Smallpox Island for the most part. I don't think everyone died, but it wasn't like, I'm going to go get better.
Did they ever recover any of those bodies over there, or the bones still over?
Well, it's underwater now.
Is it? I didn't know that. That's fascinating.
With the way that the river has changed with dams and other things. So there are several monuments, and then we have records of a lot of the people that were sent to Smallpox Island, stuff like that at the library. But yeah, I mean, that was a time when it was a huge issue. And I think part of that is just, well, it was earlier. It was the 18.
Do you know what's wild to me, though?
Yeah.
That fast forward 100 years later,
Mhm.
and we're literally could be going through something kind of similar. You know, I mean, we had the pandemic,
Yeah.
you know, with
Yeah,
COVID.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, who's to say in 4 years we don't get hit with some type of, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It's just so fascinating to me, though. Like, in 1919, the Spanish flu hits the world, and in 2019, COVID hits. It's just, I'm not saying it's a conspiracy. Don't take me as a tinfoil hat guy. Please don't. But it is kind of fascinating.
Well, yeah, and I remember during the COVID pandemic that I was so focused on, you know, wearing a mask and making sure that I was 6 feet from everybody and sanitizing everything, that my brain kind of like it shorted out on other things that would be dangerous.
Mhm.
You know, like you're
Yeah.
so focused on that you're not looking at other risks the same sort of way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, very fast. What are you writing about next week?
So, what's going to come out tomorrow?
Oh, tomorrow. Sorry, I lied to you.
No, that's okay. Is about a contest where local Boy Scouts, whatever troop of local Boy Scouts had the most. The way they said it was like promoted the most first class Scouts or something. It's basically like to the next level, to be an Eagle Scout or whatever the next level was for those boys. Won a trip to Lincoln's New Salem.
Oh.
But it was really confusing because they had just made it a state park and it didn't have any of the stuff yet. So it kept being referred to as Lincoln's Old New Salem. And for a while I was like, is it Old Salem? Is it New Salem? Like, what is this? But it was because it was literally just, they were going to go camp near where he had lived and then swim in the creek. But there was nothing else there. It was just...
I'll pass.
Yeah.
Lacy, I love chatting with you, and this was really insightful. If you guys haven't seen it yet, just go over to RiverBender.com. You can either type in Lacy McDonald's name or just type in Smallpox or just go to the news section and see it there scrolling through and see the full write-up. But I'm really excited to keep talking to you about this.
Yeah, thanks.
Every Wednesday, and we're going to get an ironed-out time whenever the craziness of the schedule works down, and we'll come up with it. But next Wednesday, you join me again?
Yes, absolutely.
I love it. We'll take a quick break, but before I do, get your library card at HanerLibrary.org, and you can unlock the plethora of opportunity that awaits you. Like that word? I think that's a nice word. You can unlock the Library of Things, the Seed Library, ad-free, for free streaming with Biblio Plus, the Genealogy and Local History Department, where you can unlock your family's roots and their history. And, you know, there was someone that was, that kind of, I don't want to put them on blast, but not going to say their name or anything, that kind of called us and said, I'm really having trouble finding my family.
Oh,
And first thought is reach out to Haner's Genealogy Department and see if there's anything that you can find to help them kind of patch things together and put those pieces together. You're there to help.
Yes, and I think Sydney sent me an email last week. Yeah. Somebody called in, was trying to find their family history, and we were able to help them. I don't remember if we were able to help them with the exact thing that they wanted, but we were able to help them find the resources that they needed to continue their search.
And they'll do it for you too. HanerLibrary.org, HanerLibrary.org, and get that library card today. This one.
Get paid to go solar. We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready? Future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Played Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Played Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
But it's too late, baby, now it's too late. Though we really did try to make it right. Something inside has died and I can't hide and I just can't fake it.
Getting there. Yeah. About 2 years now on the show, but 6 total in media. And with that being said, welcome back, 1037. How about that? Dack in studio and Piston Aviation. How's everything been down there in Bethalto?
Oh, it's been awesome. Ever since we came in February and like just embraced by the airport, the pilots, the community. It's been awesome.
Well, and now take me through your day-to-day with Piston. What's that look like?
Well, we're pretty much there every single day, like open from 10 to 6, just people stopping by for random things. The airport hasn't had a flight school in like 30 years or 20 years or something, so it's become, there's been no gathering place for the airport itself. Pilots, people have planes and hangars, businesses coming through, all kinds of activity, but there's no hub of, connection. And so on one hand, we offer that. Our building used to be the old terminal for the airport, so it's kind of a central location. So all day long, it's a random carousel spinning door of lots of, older pilots, young pilots, new pilots, people with all kinds of interactions in aviation. But mostly we're focused on our students, building our school.
Well, I'm telling you what, if I had the confidence to fly, I mean, the opportunity that awaits you when it's all said and done seems like it's a pretty darn good one.
Oh, yeah. And that right there, part of our school that's different from other schools is that learning to fly can be challenging, it can be intense. Yeah. And then the biggest thing it takes is what you just said, it's confidence. And focusing just on the curriculum of flight will teach you to be a pilot. However, we focus on the whole person and on your thinking, your thoughts, your attitude, and surround you in an environment that you can believe in yourself.
Yeah.
So it's funny you said if I had the confidence, because we're the school for you, CJ.
Well, and I think there's so many others that could really benefit from just looking into it and giving you guys a call, because, I mean, I hate to throw this out on the air, but pilots make some pretty darn good money.
Oh my God, they make a lot of money. They make a lot of money. Even, when if you want to do aviation as a career, say you want to be a airline pilot, right? Everybody starts at a school like ours. Even if you want to fly a space shuttle, you start at a school like ours.
Really?
Everybody gets a private pilot license, and then you just keep going from there. So some people want to stop there and just fly themselves, but some people, want to be commercial pilots. So your next stop is commercial pilot. Once you have your commercial pilot's license, that's like a year and a half, pretty quick, 1.5 to 2 years to go all the way to commercial pilot. Wow. And at commercial, you come out of that with like 250 hours of flight. You need 1,500 to go to the airlines, but in the meantime, they become flight instructors. And flight instructors themselves, we pay double what most schools pay to their flight instructors because we want great people and we pay for it, right?
That's awesome.
But our flight instructors themselves, it's an interim job on the way to where they're going, and they make, you know, $40 to $50 an hour. At 25 years old, our guys are, you know, making 60 grand a year. However, next step up, around 700 or 800 hours, you can get hired to be, you know, you could fly for UPS, you could fly for a company, executive corporate pilot, you could fly Taylor Swift around, right? Those people at that level, 900, 800 hours to about 1,500 hours, they can make 90 to 150 grand a year. But when you finally get to 1,500 hours and go to the airlines, the average pilot is making like 173 a year. And that's brought down because of flight instructors. There's a lot of flight instructors and they lower that curve. It really is 200 to 300. One of our flight instructors the other day got an email. He's 25 years old, standing outside. He looked at this email and then he deleted it. He swiped left and he said, "Call me back when your offer's 300. And I said, "What is that? What'd you just do?" And he said, "Oh, they want me to fly border security, which is going to the border and just flying up and down the border." They were offering him 125, or I think it was 150 grand. And he laughed at it. He scoffed at it and just deleted it and said, "Call me back when it's 300. And I was like, "Buddy, you are 25 years old."
If I'm getting paid, if I made $150,000 a year, everyone would be in trouble in this town. I'm telling you that now.
Well, CJ, you can.
Don't tell me that with the boss.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, sorry, John, but I think CJ wants to be a pilot. Some people just want to be a pilot.
Yeah.
And they don't do it for the money. However, how many people, you know, look at that kind of money and think it's impossible or out of range, or even being a pilot, and it seriously is so attainable.
That's what I'm just, when you were talking, I'm kind of dumbfounded, to be honest with you, because
too.
when you were talking about those requirements, I'm thinking a year and a half, and then you're already making that money back because you're paying for school with your flight instructor, I'm sure, and everything else.
So even that right there, we have financing available. Like at our school, we call it 0 to hero, which is starting with nothing and getting all the way to commercial. In the industry, and even around here, the average for that costs about 100 to 130 grand in order to get that commercial license, right? At our school, it's 75 grand. We offer financing as well. And even in the financing, the way that is set up to be paid back, you don't pay anything for 6 months, and then you pay a very little bit. And as your income increases, your monthly payments on your repayment go up. However, it's very possible somebody with not a super high credit score to get financing and be off on creating this dream career that many people make up reasons that it's not possible.
Well, and that's what I think's really cool. We got Soph running around behind.
But
let's do this because I want to talk about Discover Day, and this is where you can discover if you really want to fly. We'll come back. We'll talk more about Piston Aviation. We'll go wrangle up Soph, and if not, then we'll be on UPI in the Odd News section. You stay there. We'll stay here. It's 10:44, and we'll be right back.
Get paid to go solar. We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina, when you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Everybody got somebody to lean on. Put your body next to mine.
A little bit of traveling Wilburys because you could be traveling all around the country if you get your pilot's license. How about that? Let's go fly the head. See, I did there. See, that's a little bit of Jennifer Blome rubbing off on me. You know, join Piston Aviation for introduction flights and these really important talks with instructors and the leadership team with limited flights available. And this first opportunity is, well, in 4 days on June 30th. And this starts at noon. It runs until 5 p.m. What can folks expect on Sunday?
Yeah. Well, we just open the doors, lay out food and drinks. We all are there. All of our CFIs will be there.
Yeah.
And all of us will be there. So people can come in, tour the facilities, because they're super amazing.
Mhm.
We have probably the coolest flight school ever.
Do you have that arcade back there? Is that the Death Star, or was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I remember Megan talking about it.
Oh, it's so cool. It's the Star Wars game. You get inside it and sit in a cockpit. And
That's okay.
you fly missions in Star Wars jets. Yeah, it's so cool. There's a bunch of games. We have a bunch of flight simulators on PS5. And you should see it. It's super cool. It looks like you're in a spaceship when you walk in our arcade.
Just another incentive, you know.
Yeah. Well, one of our values is fun.
Yeah.
Because we think, you know, it's serious business, but it's super fun and super cool to be a pilot.
Yeah.
And so that's why we make the place fun and cool. So it's really amazing to see the amount of effort they put into building the school. But everybody's welcome. There's tons of places to hang out, huge windows that look right at the runway. So you can tour the facilities, meet us, and also we're doing discovery flights. So it's $50. You can fly for almost an hour with a CFI.
Wow.
And literally, like you, who's like, I don't know that I have the confidence. Literally, if you got in the plane and said, I want to do the takeoff, your CFI would tell you how to do it, and you would take off. You could do the entire flight, and you could even land it. And seriously.
And never touching a darn plane before.
Never been in one before. You can fly it. Some people do that.
Wow.
When I went on a discovery flight, the instructor said, here, now you take the reins. And I just looked at him and said, why? Like, what? You're the pilot. Why would I fly it?
See, what I would do is I'd say, hey, I just went blind for a second. Can you just grab this real quick, you know?
Well, yeah, they have their own control.
It's like a driver's ed car, right? Almost.
Even more intense because
I
they
bet.
have to, you know, it's
save our
serious.
lives if something ever happens.
Totally.
Well, and in this, how can folks really get immersed? What are they going to get out of the conversations with instructors? Can they sign up on Sunday?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you know, everybody's got a different dream, and then everybody has a different.
Hold on. Whoa, we got breaking news. There's a mine collapse at Gordon Moore. I just got a picture. Hold on real quick. This is breaking news. Is this photoshopped? Can we get a? Hold on. I'm gonna stand by. I'm so sorry, Dack, but this is at Gordon Moore Park. Here's what I'm showing you. Okay, I have this. Let me pull this up on the screen here. I'm sorry, folks. We're going to go picture in picture. We're going to try to, Dan Brandon, if you're up in your office, can you go try to check on this? Dack, real quick, this is at Gordon Moore. I just had this sent to me. This is a sinkhole at Gordon Moore.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness is right. That is a mine collapse. This is breaking news, folks. Dan Brandon, if you're upstairs, can we get some clarification on this? Just tuning in, we're going to show that picture one more time and get back to Piston Aviation. But breaking news this morning, it appears, I got this sent to me from a pretty close source. That is a sinkhole at Gordon Moore on those brand new turf fields. Wow. Incredible. It's due to what we have been told is a mine collapse. We'll keep you updated as more details do emerge. But news team, if you're upstairs, please get me some confirmation on that before 11 a.m. Thank you. Back to the show and Dack. Wow.
Jeez.
Wow.
That looked like a soccer field.
That was their brand new turf soccer fields.
Oh my God, brand new. It didn't look like there were any people.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated, folks. But getting back to this, as we have to write our article still. So whenever people can sign up, right?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, and whenever they're going through this, are you a pilot?
No. I'm
not. Okay, so this is cool.
Yeah.
So how do whenever you're learning, are you learning?
Not yet.
Not yet? That's okay. So whenever you're talking to folks, I like that because there's a common denominator there when you're talking to those individuals.
Yeah.
What do those conversations look like?
Well, I come to this, Megan and Joe, who started Piston, and I met them in my classes years ago because I taught personal development seminars. And basically, I would teach you how to think and how to create a dream and then create your dream into a reality. So I like talking dreams, right? And especially the big things that people usually have big resistance built up to. Lots of stories as to why I can't. I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm not smart enough, I'm not confident enough, I'm not pretty enough, whatever. And so that's what brought me, that's why they came to me and said, hey, will you run our school? Because half of the whole business is having the dream and learning how to fly the plane, doing the mechanics, learning the rules and the regulations and how to maneuver the machine.
Yeah.
But the bigger part, or equally as big at least, is, believing in yourself and forgiving yourself if you make a mistake or fail at something.
Yeah.
Or not being so hard on yourself or enduring the long journey. So that's the stuff I love because we actually deal with your thought processes. No matter who you are, no matter what level of capable you are when you come in, our job is to get you to the end goal of your pilot license or your commercial license and then off into the industry. Not just being a pilot. We say we don't just make pilots, we create leaders who happen to be pilots, right? Because your life isn't just being a pilot. Pilot is part of your life, but most people don't deal with that part.
Yeah.
And so what I do at the school is, talk to people about what is your dream, but also what are all the beliefs you have that are stopping you from being able to achieve it? And then even once you do begin the journey, what's stopping you from achieving it at the highest level possible for you right now and growing, So we talk growth, life, dreams, vision, but also fear, reality,
I got to ask you this question. How many times does someone say, does some new pilot, if they want to go commercial, if that's really the dream, is there a nervousness of being responsible for 170 plus passengers? Because that to me would be where I start to get nervous. Because even though I can drive myself anywhere, I get nervous when someone's in the car with me and I got precious cargo.
I do. I get that. My dogs.
Yeah. Well, Soph is like, listen, you almost made me fall off the chair once today, pal, But is that a conversation that's had every once in a while?
I don't hear it talked about that often.
Yeah.
Partially because, maybe at the very beginning, probably before you start, that's possibly a thing that stops a lot of people. However, once you get in, and even learning at the beginning, the laws that create flight, the law of lift alone, right? it's literally just science.
Yeah.
That if you apply all the right scientific methods and theories, that plane will take off, and then it will stay in the air no matter what the situation is. So I think even after your discovery flight, you realize like, oh, it's not magic. It's literally just science. It works no matter how big the plane is, how many people you put in it. If you can fly yourself, you could fly 1,000 people on a plane.
That's true.
Which I don't think they have them that big yet, but
Stay tuned.
300.
Have you seen the bark flights coming in?
What's that? No.
So have you ever heard of BarkBox? You have some dogs. BarkBox is they send you a monthly box every month with toys.
Yeah.
Now they're doing flights just for dogs and you and your dogs now.
Oh, I did see there was an airline that's just
$5,000 a ticket, you know. Now on Sunday, if I go and don't want to take the flight, do I gotta? Is there still a cost to go and attend?
No, it's totally free.
Really cool. The only cost is going to be if you want that discovery flight.
Yeah.
And is there a way to schedule those earlier? Do we need to call ahead of time?
Yeah, it's smart too, because we only have a few planes that I think we're gonna have 3 or 4 planes on Sunday and 3 or 4 CFIs. Last time we did about 60 discovery flights that day. This Sunday we'll have less, but they can contact us. They can call me directly and schedule, or they can email us at piston.com or flypiston.com, or stop by and book it. But easiest is to contact me.
Absolutely, and what we're going to do is we aren't going to end the show yet, just because I want to come back and just in case we get an update on Gordon Moore. But I'm really excited to see you guys over at Piston Aviation.
I want to see you fly on Sunday.
Well, you know what? I got to check my baseball schedule. I don't have to announce baseball. I'll be there because I say yes and get in trouble sometimes for saying yes. But Dack, what's your favorite part about being with Piston? It seems like the crew overall, the team's really just kind of tight, man. It seems like you guys have a good thing going.
That is the best part. You know, I'd say the best part is working with Megan and Joe.
They seem like really good people.
They're so real.
Yeah.
They do the right things for the right reasons. They live from a strategy of win-win. So they're not in business to just win themselves, and they are focused on everybody winning and succeeding, and know that sometimes that takes a hug. And, you know, sometimes it takes a kick in the butt, but they're so behind you and your success. They're phenomenal people and attract really amazing people. So a lot of environments in this industry are militaristic. Do it like this. If you didn't do it, there's something wrong with you. Get out. This isn't for you. But we say, the dream is the thing to covet and to support and nourish, and we have to work one-on-one with each person to find what they need to get them where they want to go for their reasons,
And that's what I think sets Piston apart, because whenever I knew you were coming on, even though I forgot to call you, I did look at other flight schools because I like to know how they operate.
Yeah.
But it's I hate to say this, it's almost too militarized at some of these other flight schools where it's kind of just a rubric, and it's just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But here I love this humanized approach where you're a team, and this is, to me, especially with becoming a pilot, that's the type of learning environment I would rather have, is somewhere where we can kind of mesh and we can have those conversations and talk about those things and get better together.
Yeah.
And you can have the opportunity to learn all about this on Sunday with Dack and Megan and Joe over there and the flight instructors.
And CJ.
And if I don't have a baseball game, I will be doing a discovery flight.
And listen, I'll say this just to raise the temperature in the room. You can have your discovery flight for free, CJ.
Uh-oh. We might have to figure this out and get down there. I'll see you out there then. I can't I can't turn away a freebie. Actually, I might do that. That sounds really fun. Hey, shake on it, and we'll get a time set up, and I'll call and set my time up and do it. At 10:59, we are taking a brief break. We are not going to go anywhere until we get some clarification on this. This is kind of a bigger news story of the day, of the year, if this is true, and I believe it is, a mine collapse at Gordon Moore has caused the turf fields to look completely destroyed, and about $2 million worth of turf fields there. So we'll stay here. And we'll bring you all updated on the write-up for Piston Aviation. Discovery Days. Discover if you love to fly at the St. Louis Regional Airport, noon to 5 on Sunday, June the 30th. And I guess I'll see you there.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey, Sherry. Talk to me, Dream Team.
We've got Joey.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Hey, we're out of time. We're getting clarification, and we will update you on the collapsed field at Gordmore. It does look that that is the case. Actually, before I say goodbye, it's just we'll keep you updated. But how devastating! Just a few years ago. They were there. So stay tuned to RiverBender.com. We're on the phone with Mike Haynes, the Park and Rec Director, and we will keep you updated as more details do emerge throughout the day. Stay up to date on RiverBender.com/video. And on that note, I'll see you tomorrow. Live Thursday morning, again at 9. So until then, just try your best to stay out of jail.